Hello, dear educators. So I observed that there have been a lot of queries and lot of questions that we all are facing to be able to tabulate class 10th marks for the year 2020-21. So after a lot of research and study, I have made this video, and I'm sure once you see this video, most of your queries are going to be answered. So, first of all, I'm going to be talking about the constitution of result committee. Many schools are having doubt whether they should take both the external teachers from one school or one teacher from two different schools. So, I want to tell you that you have both the options available to you. You can either take one teacher from two different CBSE schools, or you can take two teachers from one CBSE school. The only condition is that you cannot interchange these teachers, as well as you cannot have teachers of one management going to another school which is run by the same management. I will explain it with example. For example, if you have taken two teachers from school A, now you cannot give your two teachers to school A because interchanging is not allowed. Similarly, if one management is running three schools, so these three schools are school A, school B, school C. So the teachers of school A cannot be the external committee members for school B because school B is also under the same management. Other than that, wards of committee members should not be appearing from the school. And please, the last date for informing the CBSE about the constitution of committee is 5th May. So by tomorrow, you will be required to inform the CBSE through an email. Uh, Now, internal assessment 20 marks. Last date for the updation of internal assessment on the CBSE portal is 11th June. And if any school has not conducted any of these assessments, that is subject enrichment activity, multiple assessments, portfolio, then your periodic assessment 1, periodic assessment 2, then they can conduct these online assessments in the form of quizzes, presentations, portfolios, etc. But it is important to upload your internal assessment marks by 11th June. Now coming to the external assessment, which is of 80 marks. So we have periodic assessment that has been given 10 marks as a weightage. Midterm exams has been given 30 marks as a weightage, and pre-boards have been given 40 marks as a weightage. Now there could be two conditions. One is that school has not conducted one or more of these categories of exams. Then the committee has to decide the criteria and mention it in the rationale document, that what is the, supposing you've not conducted midterm exam, so what is the criteria on which you are going to be allotting marks for the midterm exams, and that criteria is totally at the discretion of the marks committee, but it has to be mentioned in the rationale document. Now, another situation could be that the schools have conducted multiple exams. Supposing school has conducted three pre-boards, then it may decide to take an average of the three exams, or the school can take the best out of the three exams, or the school can give weightage to each exam. So that choice has also been left to the discretion of the committee. At the end of the day, students should get the benefit of it. Now, assessment standardization is important. So, CBSE has basically, they will provide us the reference year mark. Once all the schools will upload their internal assessment marks, CBSE is going to provide us the reference year, overall reference year average mark of the school, and the subject average of the school of that reference year. What is the reference year? Reference year is in last 3 years, the best result, the year in which we have given the best result, that year will be considered as the reference year for allotment of marks in 2021. Now, what is very important here is to remember that in no case your overall school average of 2021 must go up beyond the reference year. So supposing your reference year, the overall school average was 84%. So your this year overall school average also has to be 84% only or 80% only, depending upon what it was in the reference year. However, your subject average can vary by 2%. Either it could be, supposing your mathematics subject average was 62 in your reference year. So this year, your mathematics subject average can be between 60 and 64. But again, the overall school average will not change. It will be the same as it was in the reference year. Please remember, this is important. Now, what will some students take other subjects like painting and music? They take six additional subject also. So, how are the marks going to be allotted for these subjects? You will take the mean marks of the best three subjects. Out of the maximum allotted marks will be awarded to the student. आपने मीन मार्क्स ले लिया थ्री बेस्ट सब्जेक्ट का स्टूडेंट का, सपोजिंग बच्चे का मीन मार्क आया 75, 78 and 80. So 80, the best mark would be allotted to the student. Now, sample understanding I am trying to give you. See, what you have to do is basically you will have to have average marks in the reference year for each subject. Average mark of English in the reference year, average mark of second language in the reference year, average mark of maths in the reference year, average mark of SST in the reference year, and average mark of science in the reference year. So now this is your starting point. You know that when I am allotting marks in English, my average should not be less than 2% of the reference year or more than 2% of the reference year. After doing this, you will have to make the sample mark sheet. I've given a sample for you. You will have roll numbers of all the students of your class. You will allot periodic test marks, which will be out of 10. You will allot midterm marks, which will be out of 30. You will allot annual pre-board exam marks, which will be out of 40. And you will have a total of these marks. Now you will work out the class average, the subject average. Now, after allotting these marks, your subject average in English is coming to 70. So there is a variation of 10%, whereas the permissible limit is 2%. Then you will have to resort to moderation. I am not talking about moderation here. If you want, I will make another video on how to resort to moderation. After moderation, your subject average will begin to improve and will start aligning with your reference year's subject average. After you've reached that point, then you will have to start uploading your marks. Now, some other important points are, this year there is no policy of verification of marks, no provision for asking of photocopy of answer sheets is there. If a child is not satisfied, then he or she should be allowed to write board exams whenever situation gets normal. Compartment exams will be conducted later. Students who have to write compartment exams may be allowed to attend class 11th meanwhile. I hope this video will help a lot of educators. Please keep liking and sharing.